I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love.
Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome this morning. If you are here in person or possibly on your way in, welcome. And welcome to everybody who is joining us online this morning. It's so wonderful to see all of y'all and to be in community. So, if you don't know, my name is Reverend Chris Ashley. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center, and we are physically located in Northern Virginia in the DC metro area. However, we are truly a global community with as much as our offerings as possible, the majority of our things being online, either in a hybrid situation like our Sunday services, or online only like most of our classes. So if you are joining us from far away, we are so grateful that you're here, and you are definitely a part of this beloved community. So, before we begin, I want to remind y'all that last week I had an announcement that we were shifting the order of service around, and it's just an experiment. So, take a deep breath. It's gonna be different today, and that's okay. And actually, we're talking about emotions for the whole month of May. So if you have an emotion about the order of service this morning, you can just notice it. Get curious about your emotions. So before we begin, I'd love to remind, if you are here in the room, to silence your cell phone. Don't worry about turning it off. In fact, you can go to the Facebook or YouTube chat and say hello there so that we know that you're joining us here in person. You can also put in all of your quotes and comments and everything like that. And if you are joining us online, we would love for you also to say hello in the chat. The nice thing about online is that you can remain totally anonymous if you don't put anything in the chat. We have no clue that you're watching us, but we would love to know that you're watching us. So say hello in the chat, say good morning. And I'd also love to welcome anybody who is here joining us for the first time. We are so grateful that you're here, and we would love to get to know you better. So if you're here in the room, we have welcome cards at the tables for you. And if you are online, also say good morning in the chat. Let us know where you're from, or how you found us. This morning we have an awesome service planned. I know I say it every week. I'm going to keep saying it every week. Like I said, the whole month of May, we are going to be talking about emotions. And this week, we are talking about what's on your spice rack. So we're going to get spicy with spice racks. We have Jen Fay as our practitioner on platform. Yay, Jen. And then we have our music director, Lynn Hollyfield, providing the music, along with Jen Fay. This morning is going to be joining her on the drums and singing along. And finally, we have an awesome tech team. And this tech team, I just am blown away by what we have managed to accomplish. It seems like every single week we are just stepping up and stepping up and stepping up our game. It's really awesome to be a part of. Woo! I know. Tech team. So I mentioned our practitioner, Jen Fay. What is a practitioner, you may ask? Well, it's you'll see their initials are RSCP, a religious science practitioner. And this is somebody who has spent years of their life dedicating themselves to their own spiritual path and going inward and going deep so that they can also hold the consciousness for others. And so our practitioners, we sometimes call them prayer practitioners, they are truly the healing arm of the center. They do all of our prayer work, they offer one-on-one sessions, all kinds of really amazing things. And so you'll hear more from Jen, our practitioner, today in just a moment. And we would also love to pray with you. So we do have a ministry of prayer that is our practitioners and myself. And if you would like to have a prayer request, you can go online and do that at celebrationcenter.org/prayer or /prayers. It's not up there. Or you can go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the prayer button, request prayer. If you're here in the room, also please fill out the green cards. And it is the first Sunday of the month. I know, y'all, there's a lot of stuff to get through today. It's okay. It is the first Sunday of the month. So if you have a birthday or an anniversary in May, raise your hand or put your birthday into the chat. Anybody? Nobody in the room, but maybe some people on chat. So let me be the first to wish you a happy birthday on this beautiful May morning. And now we have a few announcements. So the first announcement, I'm going to ask Beth and Miriam to pop up and grab this art project. If y'all remember last month, we did this creative art project all month long. And everybody who's in person created this art. Y'all can go ahead and bring it on up. Created this art project. And I'm just going to step over here so that they can be front and center. And if you were online, we offered, here, why don't come like in front here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And if if you were online, you offered us a word of your creative, what you are bringing to the center. And so here is our completed art project. It is absolutely beautiful in person. We're going to be having a picture of it go up online on the website so that you can look at it a little more closely with a little more detail. But oh my God, y'all are amazing. So awesome. So thank you for being a part of our month of creativity. Next, this month's interactive bulletin board, I know I threatened y'all with it, and now there's something to do every single month, is an emotions wheel. So we're talking about emotions for the whole month. And so every week, you are going to have an opportunity to tell us what your emotion is or put it up on the board. So this can be anonymous. So if you're online, you're going to see in the chat a link to the emotions wheel so that way you can see all of the options. And you are welcome to put what you are feeling into the chat, and we will add a dot onto the emotions wheel for you. Or if you want it to be anonymous, you can email me at revchris@celebrationcenter.org and tell me your emotion, and I will keep it anonymous and I will put a dot up for you. So this emotions wheel, if you're here in the room, I invite you after the service to go take one of those red dots, this week is red, and put it next to the 1 to 3 emotions that you are feeling. Y'all online, 1 to 3 as well. And we're just going to normalize the fact that we're not always happy, that people come to their spiritual center with a wide range of emotions, that we have a wide range of emotions from day to day, that everything is just constantly shifting and flowing, and that all emotions are good emotions because feeling is part of being human. We also have our connection time at 12:20 today, so be sure to join us on Zoom. And Diane Preston, our practitioner emeritus, she has been a practitioner for like 40 years or something. We are celebrating her 90th birthday. That's right, 90th birthday, y'all, here in the center on May 14th. It's a Saturday afternoon from 12 to 3 p.m. We are asking, it is going to be Zoom, so if you are joining us from far away, but you want to be a part of that celebration, you are welcome to join us on Zoom at our Zoom link. And we're asking that you RSVP if you're planning to come in person so that we make sure to have plenty of space and food and everything like that. So you can find that RSVP link on our website at celebrationcenter.org under upcoming events. Whew, okay, I know I've been talking forever, y'all, but I'm all done. It is now time for an opening sing-along song with Lynn and Jen. And so, unlike what we've been doing, the words are going to be up on the screen for y'all, and I invite y'all to join us in this song.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are going to do a Christy love song, and we would love for you all to sing along with us. It's called I Sing My Love. Sing my love into the world. I sing
sing my love into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world.
Good morning. Welcome to May. Welcome to the Celebration Center. So I'm Jen Fay. I'll be the platform practitioner today. So we have a little new practice that we're bringing in, which I love because it's something that to me brings peace. It brings peace to our bodies, peace to our spirits, to our minds, to our being. And so I invite you, as we move into this sacred time in our service, to remember. We're going to start by remembering our vision. And so we'll say it together. Our vision. There we are. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. So now I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze and just feel how you're supported by the chair beneath you, the floor beneath you. I invite you to focus on your heart center. Become aware of your love light in your heart, and that your focus is expanding this light in your chest. It's radiating out from you like a gift to the world. And then from that heart practice, we are going to take 3 conscious breaths together. So we'll be a nice inhalation, ready to taking an inhalation, and then holding it, and exhaling. And inhale, holding, and exhale. One more time. And then just be for a moment. Just continue to be aware, experiencing this light radiating out from your chest, from your heart. And now imagine that you're connecting with all the love lights of this beloved community. Connecting with those present in this room, online, and even present with those who will watch this service in the future. So just be with that idea of connection. And you can just stay in that sweet space if you like. As I read from Brené Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart. So often when we feel lost, adrift in our lives, our first instinct is to look out into the distance to find the nearest shore. But that shore, that solid ground, is within us. The anchor we are searching for is connection, and it is internal. If we don't know and understand who we are, what we need, want, and believe, we can't share ourselves with others. Our connection with others can only be as deep as our connection with ourselves. Without understanding how our feelings, thoughts, and behaviors work together, it's almost impossible to find our way back to ourselves and each other. True belonging and connection don't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. Taking another breath as we move into prayer. And so that one life that is God's life, that is perfect, is expressing through each of us right now. That creative life that shines in wonder and beauty, that life filled with connection and love, soothing us, this human aspect as we step into our own divinity. That wise life that is expressing through us helps us understand who we are, moment to moment. That one life brings us a place to rest as we understand, as we process our feelings. And recognizing that emotions are part of being human. They're a brilliant guidance system about where we are in the moment. And we pause and remember how we want to be more often. And so I'm grateful the way that emotions support us in every area of life. that we open to prosperity, that we open our hearts to relationships, that we feel the blessing of giving and receiving, of being who we are, accepting the wonder of who we are. That in that acceptance we move to a higher frequency that our bodies respond to, and we feel more of our natural state of well-being. And so I simply release all of these words and ideas into that universal law that responds to what I believe and what each of us believes. And we can trust that what we believe is showing up more and more, and as we expand what we're willing to believe, then grander and greater experiences come forth. I celebrate that now, calling it done, and so it is.
All right, I am going to do a Daniel Namod song called Everything New. Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something that's gone, that'll never return. Yeah, I think I've learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through fearing, I'm through dreaming that there's ever any cause for doubt. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. Yeah, I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I survived many times before, walking through God's opening doors. I'll be alright, yes I will. Once more as I did back then, I'm gonna rise again. Yeah, bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new.
Thank you, Lynn. All right, hold on, y'all. I have a lot going on. All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. All right, y'all. We're doing something different this month. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not going to lie. So first, this week, we're gonna talk just a little bit about what emotions are. But then we are using Brene Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart, which here it is. It is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure I want that as a tattoo. It's absolutely lovely. But the whole book, I mean, there are pictures and quotes and stories. It is just an amazing, incredible book. And so what Brene Brown does in this book is she goes through 87 key emotions and experiences that through her research, which is years of research with thousands and thousands of people, she has come up with what she believes to be 87 emotions and experiences that are part of being human, that all humans experience these emotions. What I also thought was really interesting is that she said that for 5 years, they surveyed over 7,000 people and asked them to write down the emotions they were experiencing. And she said most people, the average response was 3 emotions: happy, sad, mad. That's it. Happy, sad, mad. And what she goes on to talk about is that if you can't label your emotions, if you don't have language for something, then you can't find meaning and connection in that something. That language is not only what we use to make meaning, but it's also what we use to shape our world. She says, language is our portal to meaning making, connection, healing, learning, and self-awareness. Having access to the right words can open up entire universes. Language shows us that naming an experience doesn't give the experience more power. It gives us the power of understanding and meaning. And so just like we talk about, we have this idea that we can only speak positive things, but that's not exactly the way that it works, because our system of our beliefs and our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings and all of those things are creating our reality. And so the only thing we're doing by not speaking the truth of what's inside of us out is stuffing all that stuff down and ensuring that it becomes subconscious creations rather than conscious creations. And so this idea of what's on your spice rack, if you only have 3 spices, if you only have like salt, pepper, and parsley, like you can make some good eggs, or like those are the spices that I generally put on like my broccoli, maybe not parsley so much, but there's not a whole lot that you can do in cooking with nothing but salt, pepper, and parsley. You need access to more spices to be able to cook a wide variety of meals. And so in continuing in this sort of theme of emotions, this idea of the emotions wheel, which is 114 emotions, it's not based on Brene Brown's work. If you Google emotions wheel or feeling wheel, there are 100 billion of them. This is the one that I chose to use. You have a link to it online so you can see. There's also papers of it on either side that y'all are welcome to take home with you. My apologies, the words are written in about size 6 font, so get your magnifying glasses out. I can't even read it, but I will have better printouts for you next week. But it's written very large. We have a 3-foot emotions wheel over on our bulletin board. There will be pictures of that up as well. But the idea that understanding that these emotions happen is not making these emotions have power over us, but rather us giving ourselves our own power back. So that once we understand the emotions that we're having, then we can understand the tools that we need to support the emotions. And then rather than reacting from the emotion, we can respond from a place of clarity and understanding, using that emotion as a tool rather than as something that overtakes us. So, I think the final question that I need to answer before we can move on to this new exciting thing that we're doing that I'm nervous about is, what is an emotion, right? That's the question. I know y'all are all thinking it. I can hear it in your brains. But Reverend Chris, what's an emotion? you may ask? Well, here's the thing, that over decades of research and thousands of psychologists and philosophers and spiritual seekers and all of this, there is not a definition for emotion. There is no recognized, everybody agrees this is what an emotion is, definition of emotion. That people disagree. And what Brene Brown talks about in her book is that we've come closer. Like in the last 20 years of research, there are some things that most researchers and psychologists and things like that can get behind, but there's still not one definition. So I'm going to read y'all a bunch of definitions, and y'all can take the one that works for you. So emotions are individual specific reactions to experiences. Emotions are sensitivity to events. I don't know what's going on with that. Emotions are your mind's reaction to experience. Emotions are the description of intangible human feelings, the powerful internal sensations that color our every experience. They are a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. They are strong feeling, often accompanied by a physical reaction. They are a spontaneous mental reaction. Mental states brought on by neuropsychological changes, or the definition on psychology.com is a complex reaction pattern involving experiential, behavioral, and physiological elements by which an individual attempts to deal with a personally significant matter or events. So basically, they're a feeling. What's a feeling? An emotion. What's an emotion? A feeling. So we are going to dive into, if it does it again, I'm going to switch over to this mic over here. We are going to dive into these 87 emotions and feelings. And here is why I am feeling the emotion of nervousness, because I didn't prep a talk. What we are going to do is we're going to spin a wheel of the first 3 chapters of emotions in the book. And we're going to do this every week, except for the week that Reverend Raymond is here. I did not make him not prep a talk and spin a wheel. But every week, so there's 5 weeks. So for 4 weeks, we're going to spin a wheel together, see what the emotion is, read about it together in Brene Brown, and then I'm going to tell y'all my thoughts and experiences, and then we're going to have an extended Tell Us where y'all get to tell us your thoughts and experiences around that emotion or experience. And so if you are online, get ready to get your fingers moving in the chat, because once we know the emotion, that is going to be the Tell Us question. The Tell Us question is, what is your experience with whatever the emotion is? Okay? So, are y'all ready? All right, Ivor, if you will pull up the wheel. Oh, nope, the other wheel. Okay, here's the wheel, y'all. Reverence! Yay, reverence! I have to say that's really funny, because every other time that I've done this, it's been like anxiety came up like 10 times in a row, and I was like, yes, wheel, I know, we're all anxious. Everybody's anxious. I got it, you know. Resentment came up and regret, but we got reverence. So let's dive in, shall we? Reverence. All right, now I got to look up where it's at. Page 16. So this reverence is under chapter 2, which is places we go when we compare. Comparison, admiration, reverence, envy, jealousy, resentment, Schadenfreude, and Freudenfreude. So, I just got a lot of stuff going on up here. You need more things when you haven't prepped. All right. comparison, admiration, and reverence. So, reverence, which is sometimes called adoration, worship, or veneration, is a deeper form of admiration or respect and is often combined with a sense of meaningful connection with something greater than ourselves. And then Brene Brown goes on to say, I can't think of this word without thinking of church. This research definition is probably why. Reverence is a cardinal virtue characterized by the capacity of feeling deep respect, love, and humility for something sacred or transcendent. And then she goes on to say is what's interesting is that while admiration fosters self-betterment, reverence seems to foster a desire for connection to what we revere. We want to move closer to that thing or person. And then she adds in a bonus word, irreverent. And she says, after reading all the research related to reverence, I was curious about how it was defined because I see it all the time on Netflix. It must be a tag for their algorithm. They have tags for irreverent comedies, irreverent sitcoms, irreverent adult animation, irreverent stand-up, irreverent British comedies, and more. And she says she normally does not like the shows with the irreverent tag. I personally love the shows with the irreverent tag. And then she goes on to say that the definition is not showing the expected respect for official, important, or holy things. And she says she feels like her adult experiences with unchecked authority leave her weary of reverence, and her upbringing, where social conformity was important, leaves her uncomfortable with irreverence. So she's weary of reverence and uncomfortable with irreverence. And so she says, translation, sometimes I laugh at irreverent humor and then I feel bad. Have any of y'all done that? I know I have too, right? Where you go, oh, a lot of times, I'm going to say a bad word. A lot of times you say, I'm going to hell for thinking this, right? Or for laughing at this joke or whatever it may be. We don't believe in hell here, so you're not going to hell, don't worry. So reverence. You know, I think that this word is really interesting because I think that we can have a healthy amount of reverence. And I think that reverence is something that we can and maybe even should foster in ourselves and in our world and our society. And I think about what if we held things like the earth, ourselves, one another in reverence, and this idea of placing something in a sacred and respected light. And how differently would we treat ourselves if we revered ourselves even? Like not even going out there to, what if we actually treated one another with reverence, but what if we just turned it within and treated ourselves with reverence? How much would the world change if this idea of reverence was put at the utmost of importance in our own lives? And then I think that everything, because it goes from the internal to the outside, right? We believe that we create our own reality, and we do so through not just our thoughts, but our thoughts, our emotions, our belief systems, our patterns of behavior, the way that we were upbringing, or the way that we were raised in our upbringing, our culture, our collective consciousness, that all of these things together create our reality. And what if at the heart of it was this idea of reverence? How different would the outpicturing of our world be? And if we put in this seed of reverence to ourselves and treated ourselves with the utmost of sacredness, if we truly treated ourselves as though every step that we took was on holy ground because we are standing there, how different would reverence change the planet? That's what I think about when I think about this idea of reverence, is this kind of starting within, starting internally within ourselves. And then if I treat myself with reverence, if I truly show up to me as though I am a temple of the divine, because I am, then it becomes so much easier to show up to you as the temple of the divine. because there's no longer any of those other comparison things. There's no longer the need to compare or make you wrong or make me right or make me wrong and make you right or whatever it may be, because we're all just showing up in this space of revering that God that is me and that God that is you. So those are my thoughts. That's my 2 cents on reverence. So what is your thoughts, ideas, or experiences of reverence? How does this show up in your life? And if you are online, please put your answers in the chat. I will put on my mask and switch to the other microphone, Ivor. Okay, cool. Oh, sorry. I should have taken this off before. Reverence. So, who has a thought? Yes. Come on up, Aaliyah. Yes, you get to come up.
Awesome. I notice when I hear the word reverence, like I kind of contract. Like I feel like most of the things that we revere in our culture are not, I don't know, they're things, I think we have it all mixed up. And that's why I like irreverent humor, because it's kind of like, maybe we should be revering that instead of this, you know? So it's kind of like, yes, actually, when you first said that word, I was like, oh, actually, I have a lot of reverence. I actually have an intense amount of reverence. Like, if someone's crying and, like, having trauma release, like, I have a lot of reverence for that. Like, I am not leaving that person. Everyone else is like, well, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to go. Workshop's over. I'm like, no, I will stay with that person because that is something to be revered. So I just have a very different relationship with reality, I think. That I revere a lot of things that I think other people don't. So, I don't know. Yeah. But the word reverence, I think, in our culture specifically means Jesus or God or some specific set of values that people have. And I think I just have figured out a lot of other things actually need our reverence. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting. It's an interesting word.
It is an interesting word. I was actually expecting to get like anxiety or dread or something. So reverence threw me off a little. I really like that thought, though, that irreverent kind of turns on its head this cultural idea of what we should hold as reverent, and should we really hold those things as reverent? So really beginning to ask ourselves the question, is what I hold in reverence really something to be revered? And then looking at that. Yes, Miriam, come on up. Type your comments in the chat.
Yes. Okay, I think about this word a lot in terms of my students and how to affect their behavior by the way that I set my expectations. So if they know how I think about them, I think I notice that they will meet me at where I think of them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yep. So just like set the expectation up here so they know where how I revere them, and then they more often than not will meet me there. So it's sort of like a behavior management technique. So that's
Yes. Oh my gosh. I hadn't even thought about that, Miriam, but that is like a note, like people are going to show up how you expect them to show up. So when you, I knew they were going to do that. I knew that was going to happen. Well, if that is what you expect from them, then that is how they're going to show up. So that is an awesome behavior management technique as a parent, as a teacher, as a human dealing with other humans. But what if we held each other all in this high esteem and then just expected the best of one another? The example that came to my mind when you said that was people who get divorced, that, rotten, horrible, no good, dirty, I can't believe that I ever married that person, right? And then they get with their next spouse and they're delightful and they're amazing and they unload the dishwasher and they're so loving and they bring flowers home, and you go, who is that person, right? Well, what if that person is being held to the reverence and the revering that is that, and then they just rise to the occasion, right? I love that, Miriam. Judy, our practitioner online, says, reverence is my word for this year. To me, it is profound presence to life. I love that, Judy, and I love that it's the word for the year for you. This profound presence to life. So if I understand, and I know you a little bit, Judy, it's showing up to life and letting go of everything that gets in the way of showing up to life and whatever life is bringing. Thank you, Judy. Anyone else online? Oh. Andy says, the idea of reverence quiets me. That's beautiful. And at their house right now, the hydrangeas are probably blossoming. And so to me, reverence is sitting on the front porch with the hydrangeas and just being. Harrison says, those liminal moments that transcend normal life, when we find ourselves in a place of stillness and silence and awe, like the birth of child or death of a parent, something greater, mysterious, and something greater and mysterious that touches us, I believe is what he's saying. Yes, so sitting in those moments of reverence that are transcending normal life. Normal. I would definitely say the birth of my son was a reverent moment for me. Any others? Anyone else here in the room? Reverence. Yes, Jen and then Dottie.
So because you talked about if we've had reverence for ourselves, the thing that's very much in my mind in recent times is this idea of self-care. And so if I hold myself in reverence, in high regard, then I'm more apt to, do the things that are good for my body. Read things that inspire me. I mean, it's kind of a lifestyle, really. And what I find is that when I take the time, and that's the piece, it's the taking the time to do the self-care, because we're busy people. But when I do take that time, it really makes a difference. And to me, it's like a statement to the universe that I know I matter, that I'm worth taking the time. And that to me could be definitely a practice of self-reverence.
Beautiful, Jen. Taking the time that we are worthy of. Yes. Well, and how do we treat something that we hold in that high of esteem, in that place of reverence, and then treating ourselves like that? I love that. Dottie, come on up. I love that yellow on you.
Contrast it with the black. Reverence for other people is very easy for me because I think people are wonderful, and I always find something really good about them to revere. As to myself, I feel like if I'm too reverent towards myself, people will think I'm too self-involved and kind of selfish and stuff like that. So I guess I kind of like reverence towards other people, but I don't like it towards myself. Or I kind of think that other people might be a little bit suspicious of it or something. So, that's...
Yeah, well, and how much have we been taught in our society that any sort of feeling good about ourselves translate as pride or selfishness or, thinking too highly of ourselves in a way that we shouldn't. And so and I think that we can definitely go there, right? But where is the balance? Where is finding the reverence and not necessarily the pride or the ego, but that reverence? Thank you, Dottie. Any other thoughts? Yes, Ed, come on up. This is great. I like this. I'm super excited to see what this month brings.
I've actually got two things to talk about. The first one was what I had planned to come up and talk about, or first thought that came. And that's the feeling of reverence that I get now almost every day when I go to the National Memorial Park right up the street here. And I do a drive around the whole park, and I get out and usually walk a mile in there and that kind of thing. But I have, at the end of the day,
I'm going to hold it for you
oh,
so you can move your hand.
at the end of the day, I have a specific place that I park, and it overlooks the ponds there and the whole north part of the park. And that's where I do my daily prayers. As a practitioner here, I take all my prayer requests with me. And that's a ritual. But I look across the back of that whole park, and across the road over the north side is an absolutely beautiful woods. I call it my forest. And I love it. And sitting there a day just watching that forest and its beauty is an act of reverence for me. Mm-hmm. So that's the main one. Then a second one just came up when you brought up Andy and Harrison. Mm-hmm. In my list of 6 or 8 best friends ever, that's 2 of them. And they came up, and they're about the only ones that are still alive. So I'm just amazed that I'm reverent about the fact that they were in this service too.
Beautiful, Ed. Well, and isn't it awesome how we can have these deep, profound connections with people and have that moment of reverence, even when they are online and not here in the room, that connection can be a place of reverence. Tim says, reverence is the transcendent experience, showing up in and as the sacred and appreciating the sacredness of all the ways God shows up. Yes, all of the ways that God shows up. Okay, one final thought that I have to close it out, which is when I was candidating for this position, never mind. Harrison says, glad to still be alive with you, Ed. Oh, I agree. I'm glad that you guys are all still around and that I get to spend time with you. Anyways, when I was candidating for this position, I met with the practitioners and I talked to all of them. And one of the things that I just remember thinking is it would be such an honor to be at the center because I can feel the reverence that all of the practitioners have for the community, for the prayers that they pray on every week, for the rituals and the way that they come together and the way that they just hold this community. And I didn't really think of it as reverence at the time, but that's what it is that this beautiful, profound space of holding that our practitioners have, and how incredibly blessed we are to have that presence here in this community. And so with that thought, I invite us into prayer. So what I know is that there is only the one. That one thing that is infinite and absolute and eternal, that one thing that is so grand, so magnificent, that it is beyond anything that we can possibly imagine. And I just allow the reverence of that grandness, that oneness, that allness to overtake me in this moment. And feeling that reverence for the bigness of life, I feel that reverence for each and every one of us, for every single individual in this room, every single individual watching online, every single individual who will see the recording later, every single individual on this planet, on this plane at this moment. The reverence for all of life. And so what I know and affirm is that this reverence just overtakes us. That we stand in our own reverence and that we allow ourselves to treat ourselves with the reverence that we deserve. And as we treat ourselves with that reverence, we treat one another with that same reverence. That this idea of connection and knowing and admiration and the beauty of life ripples out into the world as we revere all of life. And so I am so grateful for this beloved community with these amazing ideas and stories and thoughts and experiences. I am so grateful that we can come together and learn together and just figure it out together. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so it is.
Based on the Reverend Chris's topic today, what's on your spice rack, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and this song kind of came to me. It's in its first writing, but it's called Cooking with God. Start with a little happy, add a pinch of sad. Be a little sappy, it might make you glad. Put an ample measure of your proprietary blend. A bunch of sweet, a tad of warmth, and a thread to mend. Just a sprinkle of hurt, add laughs and smiles. Not too much sourness, but tons of honey, child. Mix a little joy in the bittersweet stew. Spare all the lonely, 'cause I am here with you. Turn your lazy Susan, spin life's dance floor. Scrape out the feel losing, that's what a spatula's for. Sift in what you've been feeling, the spices at your core. You're cooking with God, don't skimp, there's always more. Forget about the fear, there's no need to run. Grab the wearing blender and add a bunch of fun. Pour in a lot of silly, and don't forget the trust. Remember the secret ingredient is always to stir with love. Turn your lazy Susan, spin life's dance floor. Scrape out the fear of losing, it's what a spatula's for. Sift in what you've been feeling, the spices at your core. You're cooking with God, don't skimp, there's always more. You're cooking with God, don't skimp, there's always more. All right.
Oh my God. That was the best thing ever. Oh my God, that was the best thing ever. I love that so much, Lynn. That is awesome. Oh, thank you. So this is the time in our service for our tithes and our offerings. And as a reminder that your very presence here is an offering and a blessing to us and to our community, whether you are at home or you are here in person. And we are a tithing organization, and we tithe out to our larger organization just as y'all tithe to us, as we tithe to us, to Celebration Center. And so if you have a monetary donation for us, we so appreciate and are grateful. And you can do that by going to celebrationcenter.org and clicking on the Give button. Or if you are here in the room, you, of course, can put things into the baskets. And so, yes, now our offertory affirmation is going to be done by our practitioner.
So let's read our offertory affirmation together. Is it up there?
Almost. We have a lot that we're making Ivor do a lot all of a sudden. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I open my heart to give and receive.
the blessings that our spirits promise to me.
As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life,
and I open to accept it. And so it is.
And so as we bless these offerings, the word reverence comes to my heart. That all of the energy of money, of time, of talent, everything that we have, the willingness to be part of this community and to give in some way, I hold that in reverence because it is the most sacred gift of all for a community. And so I'm grateful for all of the tithes and the donations. I'm grateful for the presence of people coming, the people going, that there is this wonderful circulation, giving, receiving in it all, and it blesses everyone, including the giver. And so it is.
And so it is. And so now I send us out into the world in reverence, showing up in reverence to ourselves, in reverence to one another, and in reverence to all life. And we end with a closing song.
Oops. Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna, we would love for you to sing along with this. We're gonna do the song Stand by Karen Drucker.
If you'd like to stand, feel free, but no pressure.
Okay, here we go.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand